action has to come first if you're the sort of person who is chronically unconfident, because you will drag your sense of identity behind you. If you are someone that deals with a crippling sense of insufficiency, your ability to discount any good thoughts you have in your mind is going to be so strong. If you try and lead with positivity first, I need to think it, wish it, believe it, and I will achieve it, your set point of negativity is going to just crush that into the ground. I'm speaking from personal experience, right? As the guy that was chronically unconfident and still has, the imposter syndrome that does creep in. You have to start with action. It needs to be, okay, what would have had to have happened in a week's time for me to look back on that week and find pride in myself? Pride's seen as something that you should be ashamed of. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. Pride is something that everybody misses. That having pride in your name, your performance, the way that you show up for other people is something that you can do. But you need to do something that is worthy of being prideful about, right? What would have had to have happened in a week for you to look back on that week with pride? Jason Pargin says, accept that all of your heroes are full of shit. Your heroes aren't gods, they're just regular people who got particularly good at one thing by sacrificing literally everything else. That's the price that you pay for success, and most people wouldn't pay it. Believing that learning about something is the same as enacting it, and it's not. That's why it has to be action first. A quote from one of my friends that he uses when he's thinking about a concept is, does this grow corn? Basically, is it useful? Tell me how I can use this in my life. As soon as you posit an ideal, you then begin to compare yourself to that ideal. And true hell is when the person that you are meets the person that you could have been. But the main thing is just keep promises to yourself. And that is a good way to go from, here is an insight I learned about, I want to do breathwork, cold plunge, go to the gym, fast until 12 midday, get up on time, sunlight in the eyes, and then whatever it is, right, that you want to do, turn it into a promise. Don't break the promise. The goal isn't to have the perfect daily routine tomorrow. The goal is to still be winning your daily routine in 50 years' time. If you expand your time horizon sufficiently, you will realize that very, very tiny steps can compound. If you look back at what you regret from 10 years ago, it's probably still the same shit that you regret now.
Yeah.
I think that our regrets stay with us because we're the same, You are the common denominator between all of the experiences in your life. All of my partners, all of the breakups that I go through are bitter, and my ex ends up being a dick. Okay, well, what do all of your exes have in common?
You.
Yeah. You're the common denominator between all of them. So I think if someone is asking themselves this question and goes, what am I going to regret in 10 years' time? What do you regret from 10 years ago? Is a good place to start. I believe that the longer that you wait before you do a thing that needs doing, all of those minutes that you spend thinking about the thing that needs to be done could have been gotten rid of had you have just done the thing. So for an example, your daily routine resets every morning when you wake up. You have to walk the dog and meditate and do your breath work and read in your journal and do whatever. If you do those things earlier in the day, you get to spend the rest of the day in just this bliss, right? This self-congratulatory, noble, high horse bliss about all of these things you did. Whereas if you leave them until the end of the day, you have to spend all of those minutes thinking, oh, I got to do the meditation when I get home and can't forget to write in the journal. That's anxiety cost. And that's a really good, compelling reason why you should make decisions as soon as you're ready to make them, because you will get rid of these wasted minutes, which you'll never get back. You're never going to get those back. Your brief time on this planet, 4,000 weeks. You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. Considering regret, considering the things that we regret in life and trying to reframe it has been one of the most useful mental models that I've gained. What I'd always presumed was that in life, the only reason that I had a regret is because I made a suboptimal decision. If only I'd been able to make the perfect decision, I could have ameliorated the regret, and the reason that it's there is because I didn't make the right decision. But when you accept the fact that opportunity cost is baked into the fabric of life, me and you can go to the gym or we can go to the theme park. By going to the gym, we don't go to the theme park. Even if the gym was the right decision to make, we're always going to have the open loop of, I wonder what the theme park was like that day. So I go, oh, that's interesting. Regrets aren't a bug, they're a feature. Regrets are a feature of life, right? They are a natural byproduct of us always being curious about what could have been. And given the fact that opportunity cost exists, they're always going to be there. So, okay, that's interesting. It's kind of liberating, right? Makes you feel less culpable for the suboptimal decision that you made. If you accept the fact that regrets are inevitable, that you're going to do things in your life, even if you choose the right thing, and you're going to consider in retrospect that you wonder what the other thing could have been. If you can't escape regrets, when it comes to making a decision between multiple choices, what you have to look at is not only what thing do I want, but which regret could I live with? If regrets are inescapable, you have to choose which one you want. Okay, so I have to choose which regret I want. So you're looking at a choice. You have things in front of you. Which of these two could I bear living with the regret of? And that makes decisions an awful lot easier, right? Because it switches us from a place of scarcity and fear about the future, and it helps to project us forward and think, okay, which of these could I not bear myself to live without? You have to sacrifice most things in the medium term in order to be able to facilitate progress toward one thing. By choosing in advance the things that you're going to suck at, the price that you're going to pay in order for success within whichever domain it is, it allows you to feel ease and acceptance when that particular domain does start to drop away. So for instance, this year, I'm writing a book, I'm going to do some live shows toward the end of the year, going to continue doing the podcast, and I'm doing some other bits and pieces as well. My fitness is going to have to take a hit. At the start of this year, I accepted the fact that I'm probably going to get a combination of smaller, fatter, and slower throughout this year. But that's fine. That's the price that I'm prepared to pay. And I made that deal with myself in advance. Okay, I'm conditioned. Fitness is going to take a little bit of a hit. I'll hold on to it as best I can. This isn't me being complacent about it. I'm going to let it slip. And it is such a powerful insight that you can have anything you want, but not everything you want. And I think that's liberating. Pay attention. Be focused. Be disciplined. Keep promises to myself. Tell the truth. Those are the principles. Those are most of the principles. The number of paths that your life can go down in the future are so varied and so difficult to predict that any hard and fast plan will be completely destroyed by 6 months of intense growth. So having any rigid plan isn't going to work. Having a bunch of principles is.